All right, we've been working on evaluating functions. Let's try our hand at some function operations. How do I combine functions together using a few different specific operations? A lot of these operations are the same add, subtract, multiply, divide operations that you're familiar with working with. It's the notation that trips people up, and I've got some notation written up on the board here. This is the sum function, f plus g of x. That is the same as adding f of x and g of x together. I think a lot of this is the notation that confuses people. This just means take f of x, g of x, add them together, f plus g of x. Line 2 is the difference of two functions. I combine them by subtracting. F minus g of x is f of x minus g of x. One function minus another. Line 3 is the product, f times g of x. F g of x means take f of x times g of x. The next line down is the quotient, f over g of x, f divided by g of x. That's the function f of x on top divided by the function g of x in the denominator, f of x divided by g of x. Those are probably the more familiar add, subtract, multiply, divide that you're all familiar with. It's these bottom two that are probably new to people. This is called composition. If you can see here, there's an open circle, a little open circle between the f and g. This is read out loud as composed of, referencing the operation called composition. F composed of g is how I say that out loud. F composed of g of x. I'm going to plug function g of x into f of x. I'm going to take f of g of x. F of x is composed of g of x. I take function g and substitute it into f. We'll work through that in a minute. I could also reverse the process. G is composed of f of x. G composed of f of x is how I read that out loud. That's just reverse. Take g of f of x. Take f of x, substitute it into function g. Whatever function comes second is what gets substituted into the first function. F is composed of g of x. F is made up of g of x. G of x gets substituted into f. If I reverse the process, g of f of x, g composed of f of x, f gets plugged into function g. G is built from function f of x. G is made up of function f of x. All right, let's try our hand at a few of these different operations here. I've got a few different functions up on the board and some operations to work through given the notation here. We've got f of x to be x squared minus 3x, g of x to be 1 minus 5x, and h of x given as x cubed plus 4. Let's find each of the following as I've got written up on the board. What would the sum function look like given f plus g of 4? Well, using the notes from the other board, f plus g of 4 is the same thing as f of 4 plus g of 4. I think it's a lot more apparent on what to do if you write it out like this. This is more unfamiliar to people. It's a little bit more confusing. I think it's more obvious what to do when I have it written like this. We're going to plug 4 into f. Find f of 4 and evaluate that. Do the same thing with g, and then add those two values together. F of 4, that'd be 4 squared, or 16, minus 3 times 4, 12. 16 minus 12 is 4. G of 4, plug 4 into function g. 1 minus 5 times 4 is 1 minus 20, or negative 19. 4 plus negative 19. 4 and negative 19 added together make negative 15. We could also do h times g of 1. That means take h of 1 times g of 1. Write it out separately. H of 1 is 1 to the third, or 1 plus 4. 1 plus 4 is 5. G of 1 means plug 1 into G. 1 minus 5 times 1, that's 1 minus 5, or negative 4. 5 times negative 4 is negative 20. A couple more here to the right. Let's also work through f divided by h of negative 3. That's f of negative 3 divided by h of negative 3. Well, f of negative 3 would be negative 3 squared, or 9, minus 3 times negative 3. So that's 9 plus 9, or 18. Negative 3 squared minus 3 times negative 3. This is 9, this is 9. Altogether, that's 18. Yep, that looks right. H of negative 3, that's negative 3 to the third plus 4. Negative 3 to the third is negative 27. Negative 27 plus 4 is negative 23. So negative 18 23rds. And our last one, f composed of g of 2. Write this as f of g of 2. Start from the inside, work your way out. I need to first find what g of 2 is, and then plug that into f. G of 2 is 1 minus 5 times 2, or 1 minus 10. 1 minus 10 is negative 9. G of 2 is equal to negative 9. So I want to replace G of 2 with negative 9, and then take that number, negative 9, and plug it into f. Negative 9 substituted into f. Negative 9 squared minus 3 times negative 9. That's 81 plus 27, or 98. All added together. When I plug negative 9 into function f, I got out 98. I got negative 9 by evaluating g of 2. Now, let's work through a couple more of these just to try a few other examples. What would g plus f of x be? Well, let's write this out separately. G plus f of x means take g of x plus f of x. Now I'm not plugging in a number anymore. I have just g of x and f of x to add together. Well, g of x is 1 minus 5x plus f of x, x squared minus 3x. I rewrite the function g, I rewrite the function f. Now I add the like terms together. X squared, negative 5x and negative 3x make negative 8x, plus 1 more to bring down. I built the function g plus f of x by adding the two functions f and g together. Let's try hg of x. Hg of x would be h of x times g of x. H of x is x cubed plus 4. So I'll write that function. we're going to multiply it times g of x, which is 1 minus 5x. And then start multiplying these together. So distribute x cubed times 1, x cubed times negative 5x. Negative 5x times x to the third is negative 5x to the fourth. Now distribute the 4 times 1 and negative 5x. So plus 4 minus 20x. When I write this in standard order, powers in descending order. So negative 5x to the fourth plus x to the third minus 20x plus 4. Let's now plug in g composed of f of x. I'll write those functions over here again. G of x is 1 minus 5x. F of x was x squared minus 3x. G composed of f of x is going to be given as g of f of x. I take f and I substitute it into function g. So wherever I see an x in my g function, I'm going to substitute in the entire f function. I'm going to replace the x in g of x with x squared minus 3x. So instead of 1 minus 5x, it's 1 minus 5 times quantity x squared minus 3x. So we'll bring down the 1 first, and then start distributing. Negative 5 times x squared, and negative 5 times negative 3x is plus 15x. I want to write this in standard order. We'll do negative 5x squared plus 15x plus 1. All right, should be all done there.